Going to go the other way. And now on the Spurs and on Barnes.
Williams can keep him out of the paint.
And they were moving, the officials were rotating, so they had to wait. That allowed Castle to get up on as well. A lot of free throws in this second quarter. More coming. Castle fouls SGA.
They're still the quarter. They're one of the best in the league. It's still in quarters.
Got to the basket from the top. Into the paint and gets fouled.
The way they call fouls on shooting.
You know, I've always referred to the WNBA as pretend basketball, and based on the level of skill that we see on the court, or in some cases, the complete lack of skill, the WNBA has damn sure cornered the market on make-believe basketball. But there is a developing narrative in the NBA that what we are seeing on their court ain't real. For starters, the WWE Thunder are the most unwatchable team in the league. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, dude is incredibly skilled. He is without a doubt one of the best players in the NBA. But for some reason, this dude thinks that he is auditioning for the main event of WrestleMania. Instead of playing basketball, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is out there taking bumps. Hey, Wemby, pretend to hit me. I'll sell it like I was just hit by Andre the Giant. Fans of the WWE Thunder, they vehemently defend their object of worship anytime he is accused of being a professional wrestler. I met with my fellow nerds on Reddit. My boo SGA doesn't flop. I looked at the stats. He only shot 7 free throws in Game 4. As you guys know, Uncle Casey does not like to rely on stats. I prefer to base my opinion on what I see with my own eyes. Unlike Mina Kimes, I don't rely on numbers and equations. But since the dorks want to rely on analytics, I've got some analytical data that proves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is an actor, not a basketball player. Tom Haberstroh, hell, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'll just refer to him as Tommy from Yahoo Sports. Tommy went through the painstaking process of watching every SGA shot attempt and counted how many times he mysteriously fell over after shooting a jump shot. Now, just to be clear, this includes every fall in the playoffs, whether he was pushed by an opposing player, whether he was pretending to be pushed by an opposing player, or if one of his teammates gave him a high five and the wind from their hand knocked him over. Throughout the playoffs, SGA mysteriously collapses on 11% of his field goal attempts, ranking number 1 in the league. He is officially the most valuable pretender. Over 50% of the time when he is fouled while attempting a shot, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander falls on the damn ground. He has collapsed more than James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, and Victor Wembanyama combined. Last night, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander only made 7 shots, yet somehow he managed to score 32 points. Why? Because he shot 17 free throws. The Spurs, as a team, shot 32 free throws. One player from the WWE Thunder shot almost half that number by himself. Unfortunately for the NBA, the WWE Thunder being an eyesore to watch, that is the least of their problems. Because once again, the NBA is being accused of fixing playoff games. Translation, the NBA is once again being accused of not being real. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel in the description below. Earlier today on the second channel, talked about the ongoing catfight between Stephen A. Smith and the captain of the SS White Privilege, Nick Wright. Stevie and Nikki, they are having a bit of a lover's quarrel. Nick Wright is demanding an apology because Stephen A. Smith exposed him as a bronzexual. But I explain why there is something deeper going on here that we don't know about. So if you haven't already, click the link in the description below, subscribe to the second channel. Over the last few years, Tim Donaghy has been exposing how the NBA, I don't want to call it rigging games. I don't think the NBA is picking winners and losers. This isn't WWE where a collection of grown men are sitting around a table and they are booking some dork that falls over every time he farts to beat Brock Lesnar in a street fight. I don't think Adam Silver is picking and choosing who wins games, but I would not be surprised if the NBA is influencing games. And the way they do this is through the officiating. A while back, Tim Donaghy was interviewed by Patrick Bet-David. Uncle KC, why would you trust anything Tim Donaghy says? This man is a criminal. He was convicted of fixing NBA games. Yeah, that is exactly why I trust what Tim Donaghy says. You know how the FBI figures out how drug cartels are operating? You know how the FBI dismantled the mafia? They weren't talking to the law-abiding citizen working on Wall Street. They're not talking to Gomez, who runs the taco stand in Chihuahua. In order to find out how criminal organizations are operating, the FBI talks to actual criminals. You can try to discredit Tim Donaghy all you want, but the dude really has nothing to gain by exposing the NBA. Instead of letting Tim Donaghy be the fall guy, what the NBA should have done was paid him for his silence, give him a no-show job in the front office, pay him a few $100,000 a year to shut the hell up, but instead, they turned the dude into a pariah, and Tim Donaghy spent the last few years exposing the NBA's secrets. A while back, he was talking to Patrick Bet-David. They were talking about the 2016 NBA Finals when the Warriors were up 3-1 and Draymond Green got suspended for a game. The suspension was the catalyst for the Cavs to make their comeback to win the series. Listen to what Tim Donaghy says. Watch it for yourself.
When you watch that, okay, they call the foul. I get it. Let's say foul's there. Technical foul, fine. Do you think a one-game suspension is granted for something like that, for Draymond?
I think it depends on who was up and down in the series. I think if Golden State would have been down in the series, there would have been no suspension. But, if they're up in the series, there's a suspension. Why? Because it takes a good player away off the floor and then allows for the series to go on a little bit further. It allows for Cleveland to win a game.
Basically, what Tim Donaghy is saying, the NBA tries to manipulate series into going 6 or 7 games. Now, obviously, they can't do that with every series. For example, there was no way to manipulate Knicks Cavs. The quitters from Cleveland quit and got their ass kicked. There's no amount of manipulation that was going to stop that from happening. But in a tightly contested series like Spurs Thunder, the officials can have tremendous influence over the game. I have watched every game in the Western Conference Finals. There have been a couple of games where the WWE Thunder are not getting the benefit of the whistle. They're falling down like usual. They are flailing their arms. Chet Holmgren is pretending Stephon Castle is a freight train, and at 7-1, he just can't take the overwhelming strength of a guard half his size. And as the Thunder are flopping around, they're not getting calls. Then you have a game like last night, where you can tell the Spurs are getting frustrated. Every time they move, they're being called for a foul. Meanwhile, the WWE Thunder, They're allowed to throw worked punches on defense and nothing happens. Now, in fairness to the Thunder, do I think the officiating was the reason that the Spurs lost last night? No. The main reason they lost is because Victor Wembanyama thought he was Steph Curry and kept shooting threes. The dude's like 800 feet tall. He's like an alien on the court. Yet for some reason, last night he refused to play in the paint. You know how many times I saw Shaq hanging around the three-point line in the playoffs? None. He was dominating the paint, which is exactly where Wemby's giant ass should be. So, the officiating, not the reason that the Spurs lost last night. But did the officiating influence the game? Does the NBA use officials to influence the outcome to extend series? The reality is, whether it's true or not doesn't matter. The optics are the only thing that matters. That we had to sit here and ask the question is the only thing that matters. This league has a long history of corruption, for lack of a better word. Think about it. For starters, you have Tim Donaghy, who officiated in the NBA for over a decade. He's literally telling everyone the league is influencing games. How many NBA coaches, players, have been busted betting on the outcome of games? To make matters worse, the league is in bed with the sports books. Every morning, Adam Silver rolls over in bed and asks DraftKings, "What is the spread on the game tonight? Who is supposed to win? I want to put my money on that team." One of the biggest mistakes that the NBA has made, and the NFL too, hell, at this point, seems like every league in America has made this mistake. They have all embraced the disease of gambling. Outside of the casinos or the sports books themselves, there are no winners in gambling. There's only losers. With the leagues embracing the disease of gambling, it's basically an invitation for corruption. They have sacrificed the integrity of the league to make a few extra dollars. Now, some people will claim NBA players are making far too much money. They can't be bought. They can't be influenced to throw games. Yeah, Terry Rozier made over $160 million in his NBA career, and he was still fixing games. The only thing gambling does is make the sports books rich, and it destroys everyone else. At the end of the day, the NBA is an entertainment product first and a basketball league second. WWE has survived for decades with people knowing that it's not real. Maybe the NBA doesn't care. Maybe the league doesn't care if people think that it's fixed. Clearly, people are still watching. Hell, ratings for the playoffs are the highest they've been in the last 33 years. You tell me, though, do you think the NBA is influencing games? And if they are, do you care? Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.